Hello, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope you guys can see me okay. Let me know in the chat if everything is good. And excited to be here today. My name is Felicia from SweetGeorgia, and we come here every month on the second Friday of every month to do this sort of chat. We sit down, we meet up, and it's a great time to see everybody. And I can see you guys all in the chat here. Hopefully you guys, oh yay, you can hear and see just fine. Thank you so much. Yay. I hope everybody's having a really good start to December, to the holiday season. It's getting a little bit crazy here. We actually just had our first sort of festive holiday gathering last night. Happened after school for about 4 hours, doing a progressive dinner party for a bunch of families that we know, and just going from house to house to house. And it was quite an intense experience. I've never done a progressive dinner before, but that was actually super, super fun. And so hopefully everybody's having a good start to their holiday season. Now, as a quick update to all the things that are happening in and around SweetGeorgia, I think you guys know that we are going to be moving our studio very shortly. And so that is actually happening starting next Monday. It's quite a time right now. It's good. It's a good time. But yeah, so we are having sort of like an in-studio sale. If you happen to be in Vancouver, our studio is open. We've opened the doors, and we have a sale going on until basically the end of today. And then on Monday, we're going to start packing everything up, putting everything in boxes, and then it's going to take probably about a week, actually several days, for us to sort of transport all of the things, put them into a moving truck, and we're going to do this move over multiple days. So it's going to be very, very exciting to be in a new space in the new year. But yeah, as of actually, this past Wednesday, we finished filming the Crackle course that I am teaching. It's a weaving course for the School of SweetGeorgia that's going to come out next year. And so I am basically teaching Overshot next year, Crackle, and Summer and Winter, these 3 different block weave structures. I'm going to teach them all next year in the School of SweetGeorgia, and we just finished filming Overshot and Crackle. So all the Crackle samples are done as of Wednesday. And so the loom that I filmed all of that stuff on is the Leclerc Mira loom, and it's a big loom. It's a massive 45-inch wide loom that has a very sturdy frame on the base, which means it doesn't fold up. It's just a very big and wide base. And back when I built this loom in the studio, I made a video, actually 2 videos about building this loom. And I said at the time, like, this loom can never leave this room. And we didn't have any expectation that we were going to leave that room. But that loom, in order to remove it from the room, has to be completely broken down into sticks. And so that's what I'm going to be doing on Monday. I'm going to break down the loom. It's going to become just a pile of wood. And then we're going to take it over to the new studio and then see where we can set it up. And so also the following week after that, then I'm going to film the last part of that summer and winter section for the course, and that's going to be done on the Shacked Baby Wolf loom. So a bunch of different looms, a bunch of different things going on, a bunch of stuff happening in and around the studio, and that's all good and exciting. Yes. So first, to share with you things that have been going on that I have been making. I think I showed you guys last time. This is basically where I am on this night shift that I had started a while back, and it's not very far along. And it was because I was trying to decide what color to go with next. And I think I might pop in that color. No, These are both the same color. These are both gemstones. It's a colorway that we were dyeing on fiber, but I feel like I want to spin some salted caramel color to move into here and to kind of switch it up. I could. These are sort of gradient. mm, they're fractal spun yarns, and so they are going to change color as they go through and everything like that. But I thought I would kind of like make a little bit of a break and start with a salted caramel kind of color. But I do need to spin that before I can put that into the shawl. So I had taken all of these yarns with me. It's all in my bag here. I took all of this on a road trip with my son a couple of days ago, and I thought I would have all this time to knit and try different colors and things like that, but I didn't touch it at all. I also have a bag here of all of the grafting that I need to do, all of the toes that need to be grafted on all of these socks. They all need to be grafted and didn't even get a chance to touch them at all. Um, but these are socks that I made with that modern Mandarin colorway that was in a sock blank from maybe last month. I know many of you guys were looking at that double sock blank. So I did the double sock blank. I unraveled it into two separate balls. And then rather than starting from the same end to make these socks, I started from the purple end for one of the socks, which was this one. So started with the purple end. And then for the other sock, I started from the other end, which was kind of like more like a maroony kind of end, um, which is here. And so they are not twin socks. I wanted to make them slightly different so that way they'd be just a little bit more interesting. I wanted to see where the colors would land and all that kind of stuff. But I love them. I think that they turned out really, really well. And I think I mentioned before, I started putting Lycra in all of my socks, just running it with a strand of Lycra. And the Lycra happens to be purple. So it really blended well with this. I don't know if you can see maybe a tiny little haze of purple in there. Maybe it's more apparent here. But yeah, you can see there is the strand of purple Lycra that's going with it all. Yeah. So all of those toes need to be grafted. This shawl needs to be knit some more. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out which color to put in next. And you can see, I was very excited. I received that EEW cone winder that Maurice designed for Dreaming Robots. And so he is the inventor of the EEW electric eel e-spinner. And recently, well, last year he designed, or a couple years, he's been designing a cone winder. It's an electric cone winder. And so when the Kickstarter came out for this electric cone winder, I signed up right away, and it did ship a couple weeks ago. And so that is what I have been using to wind these cones. So you can see there's a little bit of a difference. So this cone here, this lovely cone, this one was wound on this device here, right here next to me. This is the Sunfire cone winder. It's a manual cone winder that has been 3D printed. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. They printed it for me in this metallic gold color. I love it. It winds beautifully. It winds perfectly. Like the placement of all the yarns, everything is super beautiful and perfect, and it just makes these gorgeous looking cones. However, it is a manual cone winder, and it's a little bit delicate, so you need to wind carefully and just be really mindful while you're winding. So that's one thing. But the electric cone winder, it winds significantly faster, obviously, and you're hands-free, not touching anything. I can literally set it up and walk away, and I come back, and there's cones that are wound. But the cones are a little bit more less managed. They're less managed just because I am walking away. And sometimes if there's a little bit of a tension issue, then some spots will get a little bit thinner, some spots will get a bit fatter, all of that kind of stuff. And the cone winder has to be perfectly aligned with the swift where the yarn is coming off. Otherwise, you might end up, well, actually one of my cones is wound like that, where the majority of the cone is wound here, and then this part is a little bit skinny because the yarn's not going the full width of the whole cone. So those are two of the things that I've been playing with, just these cone winders. And you might wonder, like, why do you need to wind all of your yarn into a cone when you could wind it into a ball for knitting? But if you happen to be using something like a knitting machine, if you're using like a Silver Reed LK150, like a little knitting machine, you do want the yarn to come off really smooth and easily and without any tension on the yarn whatsoever. And so even having it in a ball, pulling the yarn out of a ball, out of the center or out of the outside of the ball, all of that can cause just the tiniest little bit of tension issues if you happen to be doing machine knitting, which I am trying to do more of. So that is what has been happening with all the cones. I'm enjoying winding cones right now. And so that is what's going on there. I have a whole bunch of other things to show you guys today. So one of the things that we have here is this year we did not do an advent calendar. And I talked about this before because, with the studio move, we weren't sure where we're going to be, what was happening. And so this year we didn't do an advent calendar, but we did do a fiber kit because last year we had a lot of spinners who were really interested in having like a little advent kit specifically for spinning, all different colors every day and things like that. And so this year we decided to make like a holiday fiber mixing sort of kit. And so that is what this is here. There's a holiday fiber kit I have here, and it comes with 2 tubes of hand-dyed Targhee fiber. And so there's different colors in here. It's a very, very limited number of these that we made, but it's basically 80 grams of light and dark fiber that you can blend with about 100 grams. Let's see, is it 100 grams? It's about 120 grams of color hand-dyed fiber. And so you can mix and blend these together. And there's also like a little package of mix-ins. And so if you've been following any of the work that we've done with like Debbie Held or Diana Twist, who's here on the call right now as well, all of these, there's a lot of fun that you can be having by playing with blending boards, hand cards, all sorts of things like that. And so in this little kit, there's also a bundle of mix-ins. So these ones happen to be like little sparkly things. This is Firestar. This is pure silk fiber that you can blend into your bats or Rolags, make all sorts of things. What else do we have in here? We also have a candle from Camp Candle Company that is in winter solstice flavor. And we have some soak in Pineapple Grove. So that, or soak, it might come in different, we might have different flavors. Oh, there's another candle in here as well. So there's like a little treat package in there as well, so that you can play with some fiber for spinning. I've been seeing so many beautiful things that you can do on a blending board and been talking back and forth with Debbie Held a lot about this blending board, and it's just been really inspiring. I've been looking for my own blending board. I've lent it out a couple of times and now I've kind of lost track of where it's gone to. So I might need to find my blending board so I can play with some of these things as well. Yes. So Eureka was just asking me why use a cone winder versus a ball winder. And so yes, I was just saying about the tension issues, being able to release yarn a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, all of that kind of stuff. And Joan Harris is asking, are these available to be shipped? And I believe they are. I believe you can order them from Dreaming Robots now as well. Yes. So Eureka saying, I haven't used the last year's Advent yet. Might be nice to blend it all together. Oh, good. Greta has my blending board. Good to know. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so that's all the fiber stuff that's going on. So many colors, blending, lots of things happening around that. The other thing that we have going on is we have been for a year now, maybe 2 years, we have been doing these kits called the Stitch Diaries. And the Stitch Diaries is a set of yarns that have been created. The colorway has been created by somebody on our team. It tells a story. It has a backstory to it. It's all just very personal. It's really about like personal stories and personal color, and then using that personal color to then do some teaching. And so with the teaching, a lot of it has to do with exploring different stitch patterns, learning more about how these stitch patterns work, how you can mix and combine them, and then how you can design something out of that. And so this very latest Stitch Diaries is season 6. It's box number 6, and it's actually going to be the last box in this entire series. And so you guys may or may not know, I mean, we've been talking about we are moving our studio. And so with this big studio move that was unplanned, unforeseen, unexpected, unwanted, there's been a lot of things that we've had to change. And so one of the things that has had to change is like our team, our makeup of our team has changed. And so Tabitha Hedrick, who was our design director for many, many years, for about 8 years, is no longer going to be with us on this team. And so this box is basically the sort of the last project that we worked on with Tabitha. And so this box has her colorway in it. It's a colorway that she designed when she came to visit us at the studio, when she came to film with us last year. And yeah, it's a very personal color. It's very personal story and all these kinds of things. And so really being really just thankful for all of the years that Tabitha has spent working with our team. And it's going to be a big change for sure, definitely. It's going to be a very big change for all of us, a big adjustment for all of us. And so, yes, absolutely. So this is her last project with us. This is a colorway that she created. I'm going to show you the inside of this. It is season 6 of the Stitch Diaries. It is kind of like a rosy, pinky kind of colorway. And it's dark rose. Let's see if I can should I pull everything out of here? This is one of the skeins. There's actually 2 of them in here. Okay. And they are all in the Cash Luxe Fine. So it's a cashmere blend, fingering weight yarn, cashmere blend sock yarn, and it's called Dark Rose. And there's 2 skeins like this and a little treat inside as well. So that is lovely. And so the point of these Stitch Diaries is it comes with this little booklet. And in here, she has her story about the yarn. And then there's these stitch patterns. And so she goes through and she explains how to make all of these different stitch patterns. Kind of see. Ooh. And so there's a whole bunch of different patterns. There's a chart for it. There's also written instructions for all these patterns. And then we get to the end where she has put it all together and created an actual project out of it. So this one happens to be a stole. It's called a Twilight Rose, and it uses one of the stitch patterns to create this lace stole. It's a diamond lace stole. Of course, if you don't want this stitch pattern, you can swap them out and use a different stitch pattern. And so that's kind of the point, is to be able to learn about all of these different ways of putting together the stitch patterns. So I have the shawl here with me. And this is what it looks like. Ta-da! Not in photos, but this is what it actually looks like. So that is the Dark Rose custom colorway designed by Tabitha and the Twilight Rose scarf recipe. So it's a nice, beautiful diamond lace that is, you can memorize this pattern and then just keep working with it. And this, as always, like these Stitch Diaries, we only have a limited number of them, so they will be available for a limited time. And so those are in the shop right now as well. And yes. So you're saying if we're going to not do the Stitch Diaries anymore, what are we going to do? And so we actually do. We have something new coming in maybe just over a week. And so I'm going to tell you now, but I don't have it launched on the website yet. So this is just like a letting you know, giving you a heads up, to be on our email list to get the update for when this actually launches. But we are going to start our monthly club subscription for yarn. It's going to be called Secret Stash. We have talked about this a while back. Secret Stash is an idea that is around like allowing our dye team to learn and experiment and try colorways and try things. And again, it is this idea of being able to tell stories through color. We're telling personal stories through color, things like that. But this is going to be a monthly subscription box for yarn. And then we're also going to do one for fiber. And the fiber one is going to be quarterly because we found like we got feedback that monthly fiber was a little bit too much for everybody to spin. And so having like a quarterly box, subscription box for hand-dyed spinning fiber would be something that would be fun. And so this gives us an opportunity to sort of experiment and play with color, try different things, just try a lot, to really push ourselves to learn more, to experiment more, to try different things. It's an opportunity for growing and expanding our own ideas about color. So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be called Secret Stash, and it's coming out, I want to say it's going to be like December 16th. It's around there. So we're going to put that in the newsletter, in the email newsletter. So if you're on the email list, you will get the message about when this all comes out. But this is a box that we are hoping to start shipping in February. So we'll ship it at the end of January is the goal. And then you'll receive that box for February. You'll get one yarn for February. And we have like a special gift for the first 25 subscribers to either the to the yarn box. So we're going to launch the yarn box first, and then after a couple weeks, then we're going to launch the fiber quarterly box as well. So all of this stuff is going to come out, is all going to be in the newsletter. So you just have to sign up for the newsletter to find out about all of that stuff. And that's some of the changes that are going to be happening for the new year. I'm really looking forward to getting settled in the new space so we can see what is going to happen and all of these kinds of things, specifically around like how we're going to film new courses and how we're going to do things. I mean, this is part of the reason why we're like down to the very last week before moving, and we're still filming courses in the existing studio because we just don't know what it's going to be like in the new space, and it's going to take some time for us to get settled and put things in place, figure out the angles, all of that kind of stuff. But I do want to let you guys know that the next course that's coming out on the School of SweetGeorgia is an amigurumi class with Charlotte. It's about crocheting shapes. So if you know any of the classes that we have on the School of SweetGeorgia, we have actually over 100 classes now. But Charlotte, who is our assistant production manager, and she designs crochet patterns, she dyes yarn, she does everything. She has been teaching all of our crochet classes from the very beginning. So everything from this is how you tension your yarn, this is how you hold the hook, this is how you do a chain stitch, all of this stuff. She has progressed into teaching all the different crochet stitches, and then how to increase, how to decrease, how to do textures now, and then also now doing three-dimensional shapes. And so this is not the thing that Charlotte taught in her class, but recently my daughter had her first ever craft show at school. So at their school, they do like a holiday craft bazaar show kind of thing. And so her and her friend, they made all of these handmade jewelry from sea glass that they collected over the summer on the beach. And but then they ran around and they were buying things from different other booths. And there were multiple booths that were selling these crochet amigurumi octopuses. So these are not from the same booth. They're from two different crocheters, but one of them made like a really squishy amigurumi. This one's super squishy. This is an octopus that's super squishy. And then this one's a little bit more firm. The eyes are a little bit closer together. Like there's so many things that you could do, but these were so popular. And I think they sold out in the whole place. All these crocheters who were making these amigurumi octopuses. So cute. Um, But if you want to learn how to make something like that, then crochet, amigurumi, and Charlotte's class is definitely the thing that you want to do. I actually have a whole basket here of all of the things that Charlotte designed for this class, including this little polar bear. That's one. My daughter's favorite is this whale. This is stuffed crocheted whale. That looks amazing. And then what else do we have in here? We have a set. Oh, there's another whale, different colored whale. There is another bear, different colored bear. And then these things that are so adorable, these are little robins that are crocheted, smaller, bigger. I believe this is with one strand of yarn, this is with two strands of yarn, and it just naturally changes the gauge and becomes bigger. So cute. What else do we have in here? And then we have a little beaver. They are so cute. Okay, so this is the beaver, little version of the beaver, and the big version of the beaver. So if you want to learn something new this holiday season, if you have some time on your hands and you want to learn how to crochet some of these little stuffies, these are super adorable. So that is coming next week on the school. Very, very cute. The class comes out December the 14th. And that is what is happening. Oh, yes. And then if you use a different kind of yarn, like a novelty yarn, this one happens to be more like a terry cloth kind of yarn. This is a nice stuffy. So many things to work on. So there's a couple of other things that are going on that we're kind of like participating in as well. One of the things that's going on is that you guys might have seen that Andrea Mowry is hosting sort of this 100 days of spinning challenge. Originally, I think I think the original plan was 100 days of supported spindling, and then it may have become 100 days of spindle spinning. And now it seems like it's 100 days of spinning, including spinning wheels. So just spinning in general, just celebrating spinning. I think the hashtag, if you want to look for it on Instagram, is 100 days of spindle spinning. And so you can find that in Andrea Mowry's post about what all of this is. But it's really just an encouraging time for everybody to sit down and do a little bit of spinning. Find some quiet time, find 15 minutes in the morning or 15 minutes at night, and just do a little bit of meditative spinning. I know I need to get my spinning wheel back out again. I've been falling asleep at 9 o'clock every night, so not a lot of time to do very much spinning recently. But yeah, I think it's time to get back into it because I need to spin that salted caramel so I can put it into my shawl for sure. But yeah, if you want to do some of this spinning over the next 100 days, it starts December 1st, it's already begun, and goes until about March 10th. And it's just a bit of spinning. There is Ravelry conversations about it, and we are talking about it as well in our Discord channel. So Sweet Georgia has a Discord community where everybody's talking about everything. So there's all different crafts going on in there. There's knitting and crochet and machine knitting and spinning and weaving and everything. So it has been really, really inspiring to see all the things that people are making, especially because with the spindle spinning, you're going to see a lot of different fiber preparation. So things like blending together different, colors, blending together mix-ins, making these rollags off of blending boards, and then spinning from those rollags. All of that exploration and play is really, really inspiring to see. The photos are gorgeous. Just seeing photos of rollags is just, I don't know, it's really, really pretty. Greta's putting some links in here about how to join the Discord and how to find us in there and all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys can see us in there as well. And of course, oh, you have Diana Twist is here on the chat as well. Diana teaches many of our spinning classes in the School of SweetGeorgia. She teaches fiber play, like color and fiber mixing for color, making rollags, using hackles, using combs, and also spinning. spinning, 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 and spindle spinning. So you can definitely find a lot of that teaching from Diana Twiss on our school. So thank you, Diana, for being here and for sharing all of your love of spindles with us as well. And Greta, if you don't mind putting in Diana's Instagram as well, because Diana posts so many beautiful and inspiring things about what she has spun with her spindles as well. So that's a really fun place to start if you are looking for something to make during the holidays as well. There's more. There's more things that are happening during the holidays. Now, you may or may not have heard of the what is it called? New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve MCAL that is being hosted by Hilary Latimer of Criminal Knits. So this is something that is going to be called Postcards from Abroad, and it's a mystery knit along that begins on New Year's Eve. And so we have worked with Hilary and created a couple of different yarn sets to go with her MCAL. So I'm just gonna see if I can show you where to find this information. Can you see this? This is on Ravelry. This is her post for Postcards from Abroad, New Year's Eve MCAL. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's starting. And so, yes, she has a bunch of specifications for how much yarn you need and which colors and all of these kinds of things. And so if this is something that you're interested in doing, if you like mystery knit-alongs and you want something to make starting on New Year's Eve, then we do have these kits. So our kits, one of them looks like this. Let me see. One of them looks like this. So there's 4 full skeins of Tough Love sock. One of them is with, it looks like lipstick, glow, daybreak, and brass. So these kind of warmer, pinkier, glowier colors with a contrast of this color here. Okay, this is Seaside. And there's your little contrast mini skein. And so this is one of the sets, Postcards from Abroad. And we have another set back here. And so this is more like the purples and blues and things like that. So we have one skein of Tempest. We have one skein of Twilight, the purple here. There's Moonlight and Keepsake. So the lighter versions of those colors. And then we have a little mini skein here of, this looks like Sage. Yeah, it is Sage. So there's a little mini skein and the purple and blue sets as well. So 2 different color options if you wanted to do a mystery knit along this holiday season. So you can find the pattern there and all those things. Now, there is a different one that I have been really wanting to make. And I really also like that I've seen photos of it and that I can hopefully plan colors for this as well. But this is one that I actually really want to make. And I think they're doing a make along for this as well. Again, starting around like just January 1st, I think it is. And so this is called the Artist Shawl, and it's by Moonstruck Knits, Natasha Hornby. And so this is a pattern that's just come out recently. It requires, I believe 5 colors and then 2 skeins of one of the colors, the main color. So you can see here this brassy kind of mossy color, that is the main color. And then you have all these contrast colors as well. So this is a mosaic shawl. And so Natasha's suggestion is that because it's mosaic and you're going to get kind of like a little bit of a float in the back, maybe what you should consider is using yarn that is not superwash treated. So I was going to use the BFL and Silk Fine that we have. I've been using it for basically all of my projects recently. So BFL and Silk Fine, it's not superwash treated, has all these beautiful colors. And so I've picked a number of color combinations that I'm going to share very soon, probably over email or something like that. So I'll share some of those color combinations that I've made, but I've also picked a color combination that I'm going to use because I have like all these skeins of BFL and Silk Fine just like literally hanging out in my attic here. So just a few colors. They're a little bit more like subdued and mellow. I do like them. So I'm going to also make a color combination that looks like Natasha's combo here, but I also have some other color ideas as well. So many fun things that you can do. And I love this really bold, really graphic look from those triangles. It's just really big motifs. I kind of like that chunkiness of the motif and how just vibrant the colors can be in that shape. So in any case, that's kind of like what I'm looking at, and that is hopefully a project that I'm going to work on at the same time as I'm working on my night shift shawl. Hopefully I'll have more time to work on some of these projects and things like that as the weeks go on. Yeah, I'm hoping for a little bit of downtime. As always, with at the studio, we close the studio completely between Christmas and New Year's so that everybody gets a break, everybody gets to go home and rest and all these kinds of things. But yeah, really, really looking forward to a little bit of this downtime, sit in front of we don't have a fireplace at home, so we put on the fire log video on the TV, and that's basically how we get our cozy vibe at home. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And yeah, if you are a part of the school, if you are a member of the School of Sweet Georgia, we are going to do like a holiday get together with the members of the school, and we'll do that on Zoom. It's going to be hosted by Robin, and I believe it's going to be December 27th, I think. But it is in the school calendar, and so you can find all that information there as well. Marv, I'm just checking the chat here. Marva says, I have 2 knitting machines, haven't worked on them for yet. Yeah, I have a challenge right now with these knitting machines. There's a number of knitting machines, and I need to find space for them, especially in the new studio too. I do need to find space for where we're going to put these knitting machines and how they're going to work. But in the back of my mind, I was telling Anita, in the back of my mind, I have this dream that I would love for the kids to be able to open a Christmas present and have it be like a little a little sweater. But I just don't know how I'm going to get that done because today is December the 8th and I have not started. And I don't think that there's time. Even if I used a knitting machine, I don't know if I could be fast enough. I think that there would just be too much stress involved. And I want it to happen, but I just don't know if I can make it happen. You let me know if you think that I can knit 2 sweaters on a machine in 10 days? Is it possible? Don't sleep, just get it done. Oh, I really, 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 really want this to be the year where it happens, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen. In any case, it's nice to see everybody here in the chat. I would love to hear if you guys have projects that you're hoping to make, things that you want to make during your downtime during the holidays. Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely hoping for some more time to knit, more time to sit at my spinning wheel, more time to make things, and really looking forward to seeing all of our stuff move to the new studio space and getting settled in there and seeing what that's all going to be like. Yeah, so I guess the next time we meet for this live stream, we will have moved into the new space. We'll see what it's like there. Maybe we'll do this from there. It would be nice to be able to show you what it looks like inside. So we're going to hopefully be able to do that very, very soon. But in any case, I hope that everybody has a wonderful holiday. I hope you guys have a wonderful, restful, cozy couple of weeks until the next time that we meet. And thank you so much for being here to show up for this. Thank you so much for supporting all of our yarn and our studio and our team and our courses all year. And it's been a huge, very intense, very, very, very intense year, but I'm really, really thankful that we started this Discord community earlier on this year. And it's just really, really nice to see everybody in there and posting and sharing the things that you've made and the things that you're inspired by and the things that you are inspiring others with. So thank you so much for being there. And I will see you guys in the Discord channel and on the School of Sweet Georgia community forums over the next couple of weeks until we meet again. All right. Bye for now. I will see you in the next one.